Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So I told y'all to drop the questions, so we got another batch of questions in here, and let's just get into it. So first question from JSJ297. He says, I like to pretend to my question as I was debating a certain coaches. Do you think bringing Mike Hart in from IU played a bigger role overall last season than Gaddis improving or Harbaugh calling plays? I ask because he obviously turned IU into a run team with success. Then all of a sudden he comes to UM and we got an elite rush game in one season. Was Coach Hart the missing coach's puzzle piece we needed last season? He's he's as alpha as they come. I believe he injected that into the culture. Yeah. Honestly, I think it was the perfect storm. One, you had Gaddis embracing Harbaugh's philosophy, which is run the ball. Two, you had Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. Three, you had a good or great run blocking offensive line. So I think it was the perfect storm. And then you bring back a Michigan legend. I know people are going to say he's not a legend. He's a legend at Michigan. Look at his numbers. He's a Michigan legend. So that being said, him coming back, he's got a strong, hard-nosed personality. Mike Hart. Speaking of Mike Hart, so him coming back, I think he instilled that physicality into the backs. Like, okay, we want to go to the house, but let's be physical. You know what I'm saying? He's a hard-nosed dude. So the alpha mentality, I think that definitely helped and probably was part of the missing piece. Because if you watched Mike Hart, like I grew up, I got to see from Woodson, I got to see Harden, Henny, and them boys to now, you know what I'm saying? So Mike Hart, he wasn't going to take it 50 and 60 and 70 like a Corum. He could do that, but he was going to just physically impose you like Hassan Haskins pretty much. A short stocky back that's going to grind it out, and he's going to punish you. So, yeah, I think he instilled that physical nature into the offense as far as the running game, definitely. So, to answer that question, yes, he did put that alpha mentality, as you said. The big brother says, how will Jesse Minter do as DC? Will he be able to build on the improvements made by McDonald? I would think so. Because not only Minter's coming in, and for those who don't know, he used to coach for the Ravens, him and Mike McDonald, so they come from the similar coaching tree. That's why he was hired at Michigan. He was at Vanderbilt last year. Didn't do great. I mean, it's Vanderbilt. I watched some of their film. Their players were just their players were trash. Like they could be in position and they'd get work. So you can't take much from that because the players were just trash. Like I watched them. I watched the film. But him coming here, this is the second year of the players being in a similar system. So he's not going to have to. The veterans will be able to help him. The players left over from last year will be able to help him with the young dudes. Two, because in some positions, you lose Aiden and Ojabo, but you lose Aiden, Ojabo, Dax Hill, Ross, and Hawkins. But like in the secondary, you're getting players that have been there. So RJ Moden played last year. Rod Moore played last year. DJ Turner played last year. If Jamon Green plays, he was there last year. Then you got a Will Johnson coming in that you can move around and do kind of like Dax Hill, who's or start at that other outside corner. So I'm looking for the secondary. I believe you'll be able to do more things in the secondary where you won't have to play off man coverage and give so many free yards like you did last year. Last year we played off coverage because Vincent Gray is so slow. He had to play off like almost all the time except like a few games. So I believe as far as the secondary, they'll be able to do more things. Now the front seven, yeah, you lose your great pass rushers, but you got you got young dudes like Colson is fast and can move a little bit better than Ross. Now, will he be able to play downhill like Ross? We will see. But as far as the D line, you got dudes that should be able to step in, and I think our run defense might be better than it was last year. Now, as far as the pass rush, we will see. I'm not sure. But I believe there's a lot to work with for him and the players knowing the system. So I definitely think he's going to tweak a little some things because you got better talent in the secondary now. While losing like Brad Hawkins, he was somewhat limited to me. Vincent Gray, somewhat limited. Now Dax Hill, you could put him all over and he was a beast doing some things. He did everything good. He didn't do much great, but he did a lot of good things. So I feel like I don't want to get too long-winded, which I just did. But I feel like with the young players in the secondary, they're more athletic. Like dudes like Cody Jones that might be able to get play. Like you have more athleticism in the back end, which in turn lets you do more things with the front seven, if that makes sense. Because I think he'll be able to trust the secondary a lot more this year because those young dudes are more athletic. And DJ Turner's been here and he can play. He can play. So that's what I feel. So yeah, I think he will be able to tweak on what Mike Macdonald started and make it a little bit better and be able to fit these players a little better. Eddie Rogers, appreciate the comment. He says, why are we having such a hard time landing defensive ends? That's a good question, and I really can't answer that. Maybe it's the scheme. Maybe it's the scheme because it's kind of a hybrid 3-4 kind of thing, but I'm not sure. It's kind of weird that we haven't had any big name DNs. Maybe because hopefully with what Aiden Ojabo did, they see that, okay, you can come here and you can put up some numbers. But like before that, with a high profile dude like Rashawn Gary, he ain't do much. He just had to anchor the D line and take on double teams, which is somewhat true, but he just didn't have the motor like he should have, which you see him having now in the NFL. But I don't even want to get into that, but that could be part of the reason. But he's been gone so long, but you never know because coaches use that stuff. Other coaches use that stuff in recruiting. Like, okay, they had a number one recruit in Rashawn Gary, and he didn't put up any numbers at Michigan. So, you know what I'm saying? They'll use that against you. But now with Ojabo getting all those sacks and Aiden, so Harbaugh should be able to use like, okay, you see, you come here play DN, you see the love Aiden got. So come on, that could be you. That could be you as a D-end at the Heisman ceremony. If you're a D-end and you even get to go to the Heisman ceremony, that's an accomplishment because that ain't happening all the time. Even to just be a defensive player at the Heisman ceremony, that's big. So I think we'll start getting more defensive ends on a regular basis from just the dividends from having Aiden and Ojabo put up numbers and Aiden being so high profile. But I have been kind of wondering about that myself. Let's see. The big brother says over or under 40 points on offense per game. I'll say over. I'll say over because I think we're gonna put up a lot of points in the beginning. I think we're just gonna have a good offense, honestly. So I'm gonna say over. And we were close to 40 this year. What was it? Maybe 35, 36 points. So I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say over because I think this offense is gonna be better than last year's. Honestly, I think it's gonna be more explosive. Malachi says, do you think Matt Weiss being OC and QB coach will hurt the development of the QBs? Because we seen with Gaddis when he was OC and wide receiver coach, the development was lacking. Honestly, I don't know. We'll have to see on that one, bro. I can't give you a definite type of answer on that because you just don't know. I mean, I was looking at Matt Weiss's coaching career, and he's coached a lot of different positions for the Ravens at the NFL level. So just in that his resume, it holds up. Now he's co-offensive coordinator with Moore, so we'll see. But his resume is legit. I mean, I can't really knock him on his resume. You know what I'm saying? So that we'll have to see. Now, yeah, all I can say is we'll have to see on that one, bro. I can't give you a definite one on that one, Malachi. Let's see. Malachi with another question says, do you think Michigan should hire Gardner? They already got Denard. I mean, and before I even... Devin Gardner. A lot of Michigan fans hate Devin Gardner, and it really bothers me. I swear it really bothers me how much a lot of Michigan fans disrespect this dude. Because and just like Mike Sainristil, like I say, he has to love Michigan. People have to understand, Devin Gardner loves Michigan. This dude was a top dual threat quarterback when he was recruited and came to Michigan by Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rodriguez got fired. Devin Gardner stayed at Michigan, like, okay, I'm going to stay. Then we got thin at wide receiver. He was backing up Denard. We got thin at wide receiver. They said, okay, he goes to wide receiver. Plays wide receiver, even though he came to be a quarterback, a top dual threat. Could have went a bunch of places. Says, no, I'm going to stay. Goes to wide receiver. Then he comes from wide receiver. Denard gets hurt and the backup gets hurt. They take Devin and put him back to quarterback. Okay, now Denard's gone. Devin's the starter. Devin is behind probably the worst Michigan offensive line in Michigan history. This dude is getting killed. This dude was getting killed. Did he quit? No. Gave it all for Michigan. Gave it all. And if you go through the record books, you'll see him. I think he has the number 1 passing game, probably the number 3 passing game. Jeremy Gallon was the receiver. He has the number 1, the most receiving yards in a game. I think the most yardage, which Devin Gardner is his quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So this dude is littered all over the Michigan record books. And it bothers me that Michigan fans hate this man like it was his fault his offensive line was garbage. But this dude loves Michigan. And he would have beat Ohio State if Brady Hoke wasn't an idiot and went for 2 when Devin Gardner had 500 yards passing. And this man doesn't want to go to overtime. Are you retarded? Are you slow? This man has 500 yards on Ohio State in 5 TDs. Ties up the game, and you want to go for 2 instead of going to overtime when he's looking like he's unstoppable? But we end up losing that game because they didn't get the 2-point conversion. But so I'm just saying all that because people act like they hate this dude with no context. But I wouldn't mind them bringing him back. I mean, he coaches kids. He does broadcasting. I would bring him. If you want to know somebody that has a love for the game, a love for Michigan and the game, and Even in that Ohio State game that he lost, where he put on a show, a whole OSU player gets hurt. He's down there checking on him, making sure everything's great. If you want a dude that does things the right way, and is all he cares about is the team, it don't get nobody up higher from Michigan if you know what he did. So if they brought him back as an analyst or anything, they definitely should bring him back. It bothers me how much people act like this dude he was so trash. Well, if you're playing quarterback and you getting killed every time you say hike, you gonna get happy feet, and that's what happened with him. It's like David Carr in the NFL. He was getting killed for the Texans. If a quarterback's just getting leveled every time he drops back, he gets happy feet and he's never the same. And Gardner actually bounced back somewhat, had put up all those numbers, but yeah, long story short, I mean, I had to say that, but yeah, they should bring him back. Big discussions. What up, bro? He says, who will win the quarterback competition? Well, it looks like that was answered just how it goes, and Cade is going to win because JJ can't throw right now. So JJ is out JJ's not out. JJ can't throw for what is it? It's March, so April, May, June, July. For about 4 or 5 months, JJ can't throw to let his arm rest. And with that, JJ, you know what? I hate to say this, but some of those unorthodox things he does, we've seen the videos of him turning, jumping in the air, turning, and throwing it 40, 50 yards. That ain't good. That's not good for your arm, because you're putting way more torque on your arm than you should. But, I mean, it's neither here nor there. But when I originally saw those videos, I didn't like it because it's just a lot of torque on your arm to be in weird angles. It can't be good for your arm, but it is what it is. Let's see. But yeah, Cade is the winner by default. But hey, we got to ride with him. Alex Heron says, what do you think Denard Robinson will help the program? Denard is just he's just another face, and he's a Michigan legend. And for the OSU fans or other fans from other teams, he ain't no legend. We're not talking about y'all team. We talking about Michigan. So he's a legend at Michigan. We ain't talking about your team. We ain't talking about whatever. We talking about Denard Robinson for Michigan. The dude that was on the last cover of NCAA football, the video game. If you get on there, you got legendary status. So with that being said, Denard is just, he can bring a level of, I don't know, I guess you could say hype or build, because dude was putting up numbers at Michigan, played in the NFL. He was an analyst in the NFL. So he's just another face that you can have to bring some that can be legitimate to the program. So for me, he's just another face that is a Michigan legend. So, he's done some crazy things, throwing for 200, running for 200, just things like that. Dude was a beast. You know what I'm saying? So he just brings all that back, and he's got a great smile. He's a good person, you know what I'm saying? So he can help in recruiting and finding the right talent, because what he does is he's going to be helping to find talent. So he was in the NFL, and he was for Jacksonville. He was an analyst. So hopefully, let's just hope that he knows how to find talent. So that's what he does. He's going to be helping to find good high school talent for us, or even transfers. So that's what he does. That's what he will be doing. But he's a good dude. Good dude. And Michigan legend. Let's see. Jacob Jacob Criswell said, "Who is the baddest MFer on the team?" That's a good question, bro. And I almost don't know. There's not anybody that I just say, okay, this is their year. The only person I can say for sure we're like, okay, this is their year is Blake Corum. And Donovan Edwards might have something to say about that. So I really can't say who that is. It might be DJ Turner. DJ Turner might be that dude this year. If he's gotten better, let's hope he got better. He might be that dude this year. But besides that, him, I really can't say. I would have to say Blake Corum. Because I know Blake probably thinking, I'm about to go for 1,500 yards this year. Yeah, I got a split time with Donovan Edwards, but I'm trying to get to, I'm trying to go for 200, at least them first 3 cupcakes. I'm trying to get through 600 yards out of them first 3 games or something. Because dude, when it's a team with less talent, he licking his chops. Like, I'm about to be throwing up the deuces and I'm about to eat y'all up. So I'm looking for Blake to probably, I'm sure if anybody's thinking like this is my year, like I didn't do much freshman year. Last year I got injured and was having was a Heisman hopeful early, and then I had to sit behind Hassan, and I was injured. This my year. So I'm thinking Blake, because you can't be the baddest MFer on the team. You got to kind of embrace that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this my team. Like, get on my back type stuff. So I'm thinking Blake is thinking that that's him this year, because he's got that kind of personality. So I'm thinking Blake believes he's that dude, and he might be that dude. So if I had to say anybody, that's who I would say, because we know we're going to run the ball, and we know he wants the ball. He's going to have to split carries with Donovan, but Blake going to want that ball, and let's not act like he won't make the most out of it. He had 900 yards he had almost 900 or 1,000 yards, and he missed like 2 or 3 games, something like that. So, yeah, I'm sure he's ready to put up numbers. I bet he almost wish he was in the backfield by himself, didn't have to split with Donovan. But honestly, it's probably going to be one of them. If not Blake, it probably will be Donovan Edwards. Now, the wide receivers, I can't say, because we're a run-based team, and then we play action off of it unless they trying to open it up more. So with the wide receivers, I really can't say, because we just spread it around so much. You know what I'm saying? But we know those backs going to get the yards. They're going to get the yards and the carries to put up big numbers. So, and they follow suit. So I'd have to say Blake. That's my final answer for right now, Blake. Blake Corum. On offense. Defense, I'm going to say DJ Turner. I've seen the most out of him, and he's coming back. So I'm looking for him to be a shutdown corner like we haven't had in some years. Like, I'm looking for him to be that dude on defense. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. I know I got a little long-winded on some of these questions, but some of them are they some good questions. I really have to think about it. So like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.